folks here, so I don't feel quite safe enough, but I'm getting there. That we are always happy to host our folks, so. All right, at 6 o'clock, I call this meeting of the Saginaw City Council to order. Please rise for the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Please be seated. One sees the invocation. Reverend Mark Towns. Welcome, sir.
Father, we marvel that you think about us. Who are we that you should be mindful of us? And so, Father, even before we mention any needs, you are already aware. You never sleep or slumber. You're always keeping constant watch over us. And Father, what an honor tonight to lift up my brothers and sisters, my neighbors, my friends in this place and in this community. And Father, my prayer is very simple, that in these days of summer, when it seems like the refreshment is few and far between, Father, I pray that you would bring a refreshment to each of our hearts and each of our souls as we look forward to this new fall, new school year, where students will return, and teachers and staff and administrators and all the different new things that are going on. Father, we pray your blessing and watch care over all of the outworkings of our community. And as always, we pray for our first responders and ask that you would give them and their families, Father, your blessings and your riches for their service and their surrendered lives. We give you thanks for tonight and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. Appreciate it. 1D is audience participation. You're allowed to speak on any item that is on the listed agenda. If you wish to, there's a form over by the chief. Thank you, sir. All right, we're going on to the consent agenda. A is action regarding minutes from July 21st. B is action regarding appointment of Crime Control and Prevention District Board of Directors. C is action regarding ordinance 2026-24, annual service plan update and 2026 assessment for public improvements at Belt Mill. D is action regarding purchase of holiday decorations for the library. E is action regarding interlocal agreement with Tarrant County for remote video magistration. Questions or comments on the consent agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion we approve the consent agenda as read.
All. Valerie, second. Motion passes. Let the record reflect we do have a quorum. Councilmember Lawson is on vacation. Moving on to 3A, recognitions, presentations. Gabe, what do we have?
Yes, sir. The police department has a special presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council, for allowing us to be here tonight to recognize our recent promotions. As I previously have mentioned, honoring our employees is one of the greatest honors that a police chief ever has. Tonight, we're going to honor and do a ceremonial badge pinning in recognition of our recent lieutenant promotion. The lieutenant is responsible for the operation of an entire division. Our divisions are support services, CID, jail records, and operations, which is patrol, traffic, bike unit, and SWAT. The lieutenant promotions also perform patrol work and lead investigations depending on staffing and call types. And the lieutenant can also supervise the entire department for periods of time in the absence of the chief or the assistant chief. So it's a pretty important position that we have. If I could have Lieutenant Cody Pruitt join me. So Cody's been with the Saginaw Police Department for more than 10 years. He has more than 17 years overall police experience. He holds a Master TCO license. He's a police instructor, field training officer. He's our canine supervisor. and is the department's range master and the SWAT team commander, so he wears a lot of hats. Cody has continued to take on additional responsibilities in preparation for future advancements and has demonstrated himself to be a rising star within our organization. With Cody tonight is his wife Macy and daughters Parker and Sawyer. If I could have y'all join us. So as the family steps forward, I just want to mention that having the support of one's family is immeasurable. Our profession is stressful every day, with many days being beyond dangerous. It is the support of family and friends that allow our officers to overcome these struggles, and it's detrimental to officer wellness and future success. So Cody, if I can have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Cody Pruitt,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of peace officer of the state of Texas
of peace officer of the state of Texas
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of Texas, so help me God.
and of Texas, so help me God.
I'm going to have if you've never had to pin a badge on one of our shirts, the material is pretty thick and the badge pin is actually pretty dull, so it takes a little bit to get them through there. Great job, girls. So it's with the great honor that I present to you Lieutenant Cody Pruitt. Get some photos real quick. We're going to do a couple of photos real quick, and then we'll return to our normal schedule. Cody's mom. That is his mom. He is my happy face.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. All right, Gabe, what else we have? That it? All right, thank you, folks. That's a good one. Outstanding work. We'll look forward to working with Lieutenant. 3B, discussion regarding a proposed fee for the Switchyard and Recreation Center and updating rental agreement form. Vicki Weldon, Recreation Services Manager. Welcome, Vicki.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have put together suggested fee changes for the Recreation Center, rentals, and the Aquatic Center, and some camp. It's in your packet. I don't have a display for you, but if you have any questions on what the fees, we looked at other cities, we looked at what will work for our city, and we didn't want to go up too much, just enough to make incremental changes. So we spent a lot of time on this. There is one section that I'd like to define where it says Saginaw Switchyard food truck park fees. We have the membership for $250 to park at the Switchyard, and then we have a daily truck fee, and it's defined in your packet as non-member, but it really needs to be defined as access to the Switchyard or city property, so that someone who has a membership for the Switchyard would still pay $35 to park at the Aquatic Center or the Rec Center or the softball field. So those properties should be $35 per, and those would all have to be pre-approved. So I'd like to take out the non-member for the daily truck fee. So that's the only change that I have for you. Do you have any questions on?
Council questions, Vicki? Sean?
Go ahead.
Yes, I was just wondering, When was the last time we raised these fees?
At this extent, it's been since before I've been there. So we looked at
Oh.
every building, every fee. I know we've done small changes, and then we also looked at the rental agreements, and that went to the lawyer for approval. There was one small change on that, but it really defines what we see problems in or where we need more definition.
So on the food truck park, then, if they're not a member, would they be able to use the food truck park at all?
For $35
Okay.
per day.
Okay, so they don't have to be an approved person other than applying for the permit and being allowed, or the membership and for the day and being allowed to
Yeah,
use it?
other than paying for the day. That way, we know who is there. We assign parking places. It's not, the Wild West.
Okay, but they can use so like, the reason why I'm asking is because there's a lot of times where I see that it's empty, and I feel like it could be utilized. And so if there's a truck that can do that, all they would
Right.
have to do is apply, pay the fee.
Yeah,
and-
if they do the 7-day notice, just so that we
Right.
have time to know who's there.
Okay.
Absolutely. And the trucks set their own schedule.
Sure.
We have we have 21 trucks registered, and right now, they set their own schedule. Trucks mostly take off on Mondays because they work over the weekends, so Monday's a slow day
Sure.
historically. But
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not, there's an avenue for everybody. It's kinda-
absolutely. And this will actually give an avenue to like the lobster truck that used to come out.
Yeah.
That only wanted to come out twice a year, but they
perfect.
didn't want to pay the big fee. So I think this is going to open the door for more variety.
Great, thank you.
Other questions for Vicki? I just want to reiterate, our philosophy for this is not, we're not really doing this to make money for the city. We don't make a profit. We don't want to lose money, because this costs staff time, this costs a lot of labor goes into this, so we're really trying to break even. And we realize it's a service we're providing. And folks' taxes pay for a lot of this stuff, so that's the purpose of these. It's not a big money maker for the city. We do not, rake in the cash with this. We're just trying to cut our losses and then provide a great service for folks. And I really appreciate the work Vicki does on this, and this is a great table, and I appreciate all the background work you did. I know you put a lot of time into this, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Are any other questions for Vicki? All right, so I guess I need a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve as presented with the change to the
Non-members,
non-members.
Yes.
I'll second.
Technically, this is just a discussion.
Yeah, I was going to
Do we
say,
need to make anything?
But it's okay if you want to make a motion.
You still want to make a motion? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Cast your vote.
Yay.
So we're behind you. We agree with you.
Obviously, thank you so much.
No, thank you, Vicki.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, 3C, discussion regarding home garage enclosure conversion. Chris Dyer, Chief Building Official. That sounds good, doesn't it, Chris?
That's a good ring to it.
All right. So thank you, Mayor and Council, for having me here tonight. So I wanted to bring a topic up that's come up as far as I am in my office the last couple of weeks. I have a gentleman who wants to do a garage conversion. He was once upon a time in the carport overlay district, which we allowed for garage conversions in that overlay district. Now we don't have an overlay district. So now I don't know if we need to have a garage overlay district, garage conversion overlay district, or if we just want to prohibit garage conversions altogether. But I believe y'all received an email from Chief Spears about what the ordinance actually says. Under single-family dwellings, you're supposed to have two off-street and 2 on-street parking spaces, so 4 total spaces. In the carport overlay district, it allowed for an exception for that, for you could have a garage conversion and then have a carport and just have 2 off-street parkings. In that as well was the non-conforming building zoning regulations, which said in that enclosed garage exemption, all existing residential units existing in the effective date of this ordinance and the carport overlay district shall be exempt from the required of having 2 enclosed parking spaces. So that's kind of why I'm here tonight. I just kind of want to see how y'all feel about moving forward to draft up an ordinance, or if y'all want to either allow them by permit, let our office do it by permit only, or if you want certain districts to have them, but like in the newer subdivisions, if we allowed it for the entire city-wide like we do carports now, we would be losing those garages, which would put more vehicles onto the streets. So just want to make sure to implement that. So I basically open it up for any discussion to give me your feedback so that way I can go back to the drawing board and see how we can fulfill your wishes.
Council, thoughts? Thoughts, council?
Is there safety concerns with people doing this?
Safety concerns, fire, life, and safety, no. The only concern, like I said, would be in some areas where you're going to have more vehicular traffic or more vehicles parked on the street, which may hinder the, the services that we offer in the city of Saginaw. So we definitely don't want to look at it at the point of how much are we actually going to have those vehicles park on the roads, but that would ultimately take up more space if we allowed a garage conversion in a newer residential neighborhood that may not have the infrastructure for.
So what would be some like the requirements? Would they have to have so many windows and a door or
Well,
something?
definitely if it's going to be considered a bedroom, which a lot of the time, what I've typically dealt with in the past is either they want it as a second room, like a bedroom, which would require windows and doors and egress and things like that manner, or a den or an office space or even a man cave. I mean, essentially, whatever they wanted to turn it into, they could turn that into as far as the garage conversion. But again, you lose those 2 enclosed parking spots that are required by ordinance if we did that. In the carport overlay district, however, we do have a numerous amount of garage conversions already existing today because of our carport overlay district that was once upon. But if we opened it back up to allow them in just that highlighted area, that would still go with the spirit of that particular area back whenever the carport overlay district was in place.
And my concern would definitely be more cars parking on the street. There's certain streets in Saginaw that are just hard to navigate because of that.
Absolutely.
Putting my truck around, I can imagine driving a fire truck down there, or a police car that,
Yeah.
needs to get somewhere quickly.
Yeah.
That would be my big concern. Is that a good assumption that if we do this, you'll have more cars in the street? Is that
We definitely could, because at that point in time, you'd only be able to get 2 vehicles in the driveway, and if you have 4 vehicles, then the other 2 vehicles would be out in the street, which is just going to, in turn, create more traffic.
Council thoughts?
At the same time, I know that I have a 2-car garage, but the practicality of actually parking 2 vehicles in that garage, I can't fit 2 normal-sized vehicles in it because they don't build the garages large enough for it anyway. So
Correct.
It causes me to question whether or not we would actually see an increase.
I just wonder how many people actually.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think most of the people that wanted it got it already. And it leads me to question too, like at my house, I have a 1-car garage and 1 driveway.
Mhm.
So does that mean technically that my house was built outside of that ordinance and it's not compliant?
It was built prior to that ordinance, yeah.
So if, say my house caught fire and I had to rebuild it, I'd have to build a 2-car garage with the 2-car driveway.
That is something that we've had to do here recently, where we've had houses that have been not in use for a while, and they definitely had to put 2-car garage in now
Right.
because of the new ordinances.
So to me, just for the same cost, I think having an overlay with a specific area, just where that's allowed, because otherwise you're talking my replacement cost is going to be a lot more than probably what I'm insured for. So that's a concern for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like for citizens, it's a concern in that area. Obviously, the newer homes may not be as big of a concern
Yeah.
because they're already there, but.
Yeah.
Do HOA covenants restrict for any newer homes? I don't know of any neighborhoods that are going in that don't have an HOA.
Correct.
And those HOAs are going to have their own policy as to whether or not they can have
A conversion.
on-street parking.
It's probably a no, right?
And it's probably
Yeah,
a no
yeah, we
anyway, so-
have our own laws, and then the HOA has their own laws, so generally speaking, they're gonna be way more regulated than we are.
So we're really only discussing a certain existing, the district, but the old corporate overlay district, that's really the area we're talking about.
Correct.
Problem.
I mean, we looked at it as, do you want to allow it citywide, prohibit it citywide? Do you want to allow it by permit? Do you want it in a certain zoning district? We can make it a certain zoning district for it or an overlay. However y'all decide, thanks, then we need to move forward.
All right, what else? Council, what does everyone else
I
think?
I feel like at the risk of throwing everything to an SUP, I kind of feel like in this case, I know it's an increased cost to the citizen to submit an SUP, but a garage conversion is not a small expense. So I kind of feel like they're already prepared to shovel it in, so to speak.
Yeah.
So for me, the only place I think that would be a problem, I know there's some areas in Highland Station that don't have an HOA. And those are the tighter roads as well. So I think an SUP would be good because I don't think that would be included in the overlay if we use the old boundary.
Well, we could do an overlay for a certain area and then SUP for others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be complicated.
Brent, are there any legal landmines we're working through on this?
No, I mean, it sounds like the conversation is going well.
So if we did an overlay district and then potentially SUP everywhere else or something like that, that's legal?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, council? Mary? You always have thoughts, Mary.
Come on, Mary.
You don't like
I will say, I think it is a concern having all these cars parked on the streets. I think that's a problem. I wouldn't like to see that increased. How many applications do we have usually for these conversions? Are they pretty rare these days?
Because I was fortunate enough to be here during the carport overlay district and all the other ordinances that we've passed since then. We would probably have maybe on a good year 5 come through, so they were rare in that instance, but they're definitely more rare now. We don't get a whole lot. And I got cornered the other day in my office of, hey, can I get a garage conversion? I was like, well, let me look into that. And then I did my research, read my ordinances, and I was like, well, we don't have a carport overlay district anymore, so let me go to council and see what I can do.
So what I'm hearing from council is maybe have a garage overlay district or whatever we call it, then SUP everywhere else? Is that, everybody good? That work for you?
Absolutely.
I think let's do that.
Okay.
Let's move
We
forward.
can do that.
Thanks,
All right.
Chris.
Well, thank you so much.
Appreciate the update. All right, we are at 3D, discussion regarding police recruitment plan process and plan to fill police vacancies. Sean, this was your item.
Yeah, so I know we talked about it during the budget process and budget process is ongoing, but I just wanted to know if there was an update or if there was maybe a way that we could formally have a plan, because I do have citizens that are coming to me and saying, hey, we're seeing more vagrants, we're seeing people in the park after hours, laying down on the basketball courts and things like that. And while obviously, yes, they should report it, and I don't think that if they did report it, that it would go unaddressed. I don't want to see this get to a point where it might. And since safety is a number one concern of mine, I just would like to see, a concrete plan.
Could we maybe table this and do a workshop September 1st? So it gives the police some time to work at it and gives us some time to look at it. And Councilmember Lawson's not here as well, and he was pretty vocal about it at the workshop.
I'm fine with that. What's the rest of council think? What's council's pleasure?
I mean, if we're going to do a workshop, I'll agree to
Let's do a
table.
workshop September 1st, and that gets us through the budget and gives us some time in the police department time to research it a little bit.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion we table 3D until September 1st.
Already second? Motion passes. And Sean, I would encourage you maybe to find some time to sit down with the chief, maybe sort of fill him on your thoughts, give him a little heads up so he's prepared for September 1st. Yeah. Excellent, folks. We are at 4A, so at 6:24, for the public hearing. Fiscal year 2026-27 proposed budget. Kim Quinn, Finance Director.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. We've been having budget workshops, budget retreats for all through the spring and summer. This is our first required budget public hearing. Elizabeth's going to go over just a few summary graphs with you to kind of summarize the whole budget. And then I would just remind you that after we have the public hearing and hear from anyone that wishes to speak, that we will table this until next week when we have, we'll conclude the public hearing on the budget, we'll have the tax rate public hearing and a vote on all of the budget and all of the other items that go along with it.
Welcome.
Hi. Like Kim was saying, none of this information is new based off what we've been doing through the budget process, so it's just presented in a different manner with graphs. Now, this is going to be all funds revenue, so this is going to have all 13 funds. And if you look, property tax is about 1/4 of it, and that's going to include the general fund, debt service fund, and the tourist fund. Same thing for the sales tax, except that's going to be general fund, CCPD, and street maintenance. Now, looking at the expenses for all the funds, Public Works is a good chunk of it. That's the general fund, the water sewer fund, and street maintenance fund as well. Okay.
And
Again,
I would encourage council to jump in with questions at any point, so please.
yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, we've already gone over this. That's why I'm kind of just doing a little speed run of it. Like I said, just present it in a different manner. And looking at again, this is still all funds expenditures. Most of it, 27% of it is going to be personnel services. That's like salaries and benefits. All right, this is just going to be the general fund revenue. Current property taxes and sales tax is majority of it. Moving on to the general fund expenditures. Over half of it is going to be your public safety, which is going to be the fire and police. Again, general fund expenditures. This is just showing you that salary and benefits are 69%, which in the past it's been about in the 70s, and it's just showing you that operating expenses are going up. The same services are just costing more. Now, this is going to be just a breakdown of some quick highlights for each fund. The general fund, the big thing this year is going to be the TMRS contribution rate from 7% to 8%, and the 1% for the salary increase to offset. Let's see. And then the debt service, it's TERS contributing for the East McElroy debt service. The enterprise fund, water and wastewater rate is 8%. Oh, not 8%, I'm sorry, 3.25%. And we're also doing a FOG program for the fats, oil, and grease. And then enterprise escrow fund is going to have the West McElroy 12-inch water line partial funding. And moving on to the capital projects fund, we have a few that are carry forward expenses, such as North Old Decatur Road, the Railroad Quiet Zone, signal at Jarvis and Bailey, Boswell. But this is also going to include the renovations for Fire Station 2 and the design and site preparation for the animal shelter. Moving on. The drainage fund, it has a carry forward as well, the Saginaw Boulevard Drainage System 3. And then also we're going to get some accessories for the excavator we just got this year, a service truck and low water crossing at Willard Creek Park. Street maintenance fund, we also have some carry forwards as well, such as Lottie Lane, the reconstruction of Opal Street Phase 1, but we are going to start doing Phase 2 for the design, so that's fun. The CCPD, we have 3 vehicles that we're funding, 14 positions, the flock safety system, the Axon contract, and then for the police Extendable Trust Fund, it's the K-9 program that we have. It funds that. I'm pressing this, but I have to double press it for some reason. The donation funds, all these expenses have been approved by the designated boards that do that. And then for the general escrow fund, we have some special event entertainment, the farmers market, partial funding for North Old Decatur Road as well. Now the PID, which is the Belt Mill Public Improvement District Fund, We have administrative expenses, that's just to manage that fund. And then for the TERS, we have the administrative expenses and then the service for East McElroy as well for the debt. Now, the TAD estimates, I would say the big thing here is we have 104 million in new value. And if you're looking at the taxable value between 2025 and 2026, it decreased to about 10,000. And then the proposed rate is the 0.586649 is what we're proposing this year. And then our next step is to, next week, adopt the budget and adopt the tax rate. Hopefully.
Council questions?
I just had the one. We talked about at the last meeting the $10,000 for the home program, and we had gotten an email from the chief. I just didn't know, did that get worked in? Perfect, thank you.
All right, that's all I have.
Other questions? Council? All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, so this is a public hearing. It is open. The microphone is open to anyone who wishes to speak. You don't have to fill out a form. You can just approach the microphone. Anybody talk about anything about the budget? Now's your time. All right, so then I want to table this, right? I mean, close it out, then I need to table it. No?
Leave the public hearing open and just.
Until next week? Okay. All right, then I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion, we table the public hearing for the 26-27 proposed budget.
I'll second.
Do we need to say until when?
It would be best if there was a date.
Until August 11th, the next meeting, special meeting.
Paul made the motion, Valerie second. Please cast your vote. All right, motion is tabled. We look forward to working this out next week, and I appreciate everybody's hard work on this. I know it's been a lot, so we're almost there. Thank you, folks. All right, 5A, serious action on the ordinance authorization of issue of sale of serious economic tax and combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation. Kim?
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. We had bids for our debt today, and I think Andrew is going to present the results. They were really great results, so.
Andrew, welcome. Good to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. Joined with one of my partners, Jack McCliney. He's going to pass out those bid results, and he priced the certificates of obligations and the bonds today, so I'm going to turn it over to him to run through that. I'll steal a little bit of his thunder. We got great bid results on both the COs and the GO bonds today. It was a busy day in the bond market.
It just happened today, right? This happened earlier today.
Bids at 10 and 11 a.m. on each of the CO and the GO bonds. We're a AA credit rating. We went through the S&P rating process. They affirmed our credit rating. It's a very high grade, investment grade rating. Their S&P's report is certainly worth y'all reading, but they give y'all accolades for strong management team, strong budgetary practices, strong financial position. Y'all maintain high levels of reserve, so I'd encourage y'all to keep that up. There was a AA plus credit in the market today, a city in the San Antonio Metroplex. We had a competitive sale where the bids are due at those 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and we go with the best bid, the lowest interest rate. We priced somewhere on the back end of this 20-year deal 20 to 30 basis points better than a higher rated credit through that competitive sale. So the interest rates Jackson go through, we couldn't be more pleased with. They're higher than what we've seen as interest rates have ticked up over the last 5 years. Still great interest rates, certainly the best interest rates in the market today. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jack to run through those bid results for you.
Mayor, Council, how are you all tonight? My name is Jack McCliney with Samco Capital Markets. I appreciate you all having us out. As Andrew said, we saw great results this morning in the market. And Mr. Mayor, if you'll allow, I'm going to run through the results of both the CO and the GO, though it will be two separate action items before you all tonight. This first page that you all have in front of you is just the timetable of events that we've gone through for this financing. You'll look at the very top. That was the last time you all saw us on Tuesday, June 2nd. And since then, we have been working very closely with city staff to really button up the minute details of this borrowing. This morning at 10 a.m., we went out for bid on the certificates of obligation, receiving back 7 bids from all across the country. This is really a testament to the city standing in the market and how prevalent and recognizable you all have become.
So you think 7 bids pretty good? Is that about what we expected?
That is very good. We've really averaged anywhere from 4 to 5 we consider good, so 7 we'd say is very great.
Right.
And that really goes out to all the work that Gabe and Kim have been doing behind the scenes that a lot of your citizens do not see. And investors are hungry to buy y'all's debt. Of those 7 bids, R.W. Baird & Co. was the low bidder at a true interest cost of 4.08. They purchased y'all's bonds at a premium, so if you go forward, it is 3 pages in, you will see that the par amount for the bonds, the amount to be repaid, is $4,170,000. What is being deposited into the project fund is $4,200,000. So they are paying a premium to get their hands on the city's bonds. On to the GEO bonds, which went out this morning at 11 a.m., just following the sale of the CO. We received 8 bids back on the GEO bonds, and again, the low bidder was R.W. Baird with true interest cost of 4.04% over the term of the borrowing. These are great results. They come in well under our forecasted numbers of, I believe, 4.5%. Very easy for us to hit all of our goals and all of the different directions that you all wanted to see out of this borrowing.
Can I ask, why was there a difference in the bids between the 2 types of bonds?
Different size of it predominantly, even though it is pretty close together, just the different size and the times that they went out in the market. R.W. Baird, they were very aggressive today on their bids, and we really reaped the benefit of that.
Great.
And with that, Samco's recommendation would be to accept the bid from R.W. Baird on both the general obligation bonds and the certificates of obligation.
Okay. Any questions for our friends from Samco? All right, Brent, I have a question. Do I need to make two motions for this or just one?
I would make 2 motions.
Okay. Then I will consider a motion for 5A, which is certificates of obligation. Is that the best way to phrase that one? Yeah. So I'll entertain a motion for 5A.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we accept 5A as presented.
Motion passes. All right, I'll entertain a motion for 5B.
Mayor, I make a motion that we accept 5B as presented.
Valerie, second. Motion passes. Gentlemen, thank you all very much. Andrew, Jack, thanks for your hard work. Appreciate this. I know a lot of work.
If we could interrupt you for just 1
Please,
minute to get
go
a
ahead.
couple of signatures from you, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely.
We will be on our way.
Blue, okay? Blue ink, okay?
Yes, sir, that'll be perfect. I'm actually going to pour from you on that sheet as well as the last page on there. One of those is going to be for your copies. The investors are waiting on this, so they can start unloading these bonds out of the market.
We want to have.
Yes, sir.
Two on this one, 2 on that one.
2 on those, yes, sir. I'll leave you guys with a copy of each for your records. That page, and the dog here, that last one for you.
And we need to get Vicki to sign. Is there no city secretary?
Congratulations to you.
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate the hard work.
It's like getting married, all the witnesses and everything.
Sort of. This is real-time signatures, right? Financial transactions. There you go. It's good sausage, though. I like it. All right. All right, so at 6:39, we're in executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.087, deliberation regarding economic Everybody back? All right, at 6:49, we're back in regular session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, make a motion, we adjourn.
Second. Shall we second? Motion passes at 6:49. We're adjourned. Thank y'all.